Happy Sunday.
It is Sunday.
Did everybody set their clocks back?
I mean, do we actually have real clocks anymore?
I mean, I haven't changed the ones in the kitchen. The microwave and the stove still need to be changed.
You probably should fix that.
I usually do it right away, but I haven't done it yet today. But hello. Oh, I will say I just got a new computer and it didn't change. And I went to look at the time settings, and for some reason it said I was in Arizona. So I don't even know. Alexis, I have no idea what time it is.
I don't know.
What's up? Hello? Anyway, it's Sunday. The times are changing, or they already have changed. Mm-hmm. And good to see all you guys. I'm sure a lot of people, well, it's football season now, right? So everybody watches football all the time.
We do have a lower viewership during football season on Sundays.
Yeah. What's up, Crystal? Oh my God, you guys. Crystal and Angel just got a new puppy. His name is Sancho, right?
Sancho.
Vicky says Sancho. She refuses to say Sancho. I don't know why. But anyway, Sancho, and he's a little wiener dog puppy. He's only like 11 weeks old, and he's the same coloring as Ripley, but Ripley's a Chiweenie, so she's got long-haired Chihuahua in her, or long-haired Dachshund, I don't know. Anyway, so as soon as he gets his shots, though, I hope that they get to become best friends.
I hope that they thankfully Ripley's already fixed, but they would make some cute puppies.
They're not having any puppies, but we just want them to be able to hang out with each other, because that would be really fun if they could be buddies, because Ripley does need a young buddy to play with who will race around with her and have fun. But
Crystal
seriously,
said he's into everything. Well, of course he is.
Yes. So if you want to see how cute he is, go look at her Instagram, Rosie's Closet, and you can see how freaking adorable he is. In fact, I'm going to pull him up right now because I can't even handle it.
It's so funny. I never used to think dachshunds were cute dogs until we got Ripley, and now I'm obsessed.
Mm-hmm. And what happened the other night when we were looking at Ripley and talking about how cute she is?
It made me cry.
Why did it make you cry?
Because she's 2 now, and she used to be so wait. Remember, guys? We used to bring her up for the show all the time, and she would sleep through it, and ugh.
Yeah, Vicky pulled that. He used to be so small. She was legit crying, guys, like real tears.
You know, it's like when your kids grow up, right? Look at him. Look at the little floppy ears.
He looks older than 11 weeks.
Oh,
he's
no, he
cute
doesn't.
though.
He had puppy ears
I want to kiss him. Anyway, yeah, so we're excited about him coming over for some play dates and all that jazz.
Tina's right. They do. They have so much personality. And I've had several dogs now, and so has Katy. And I know that Crystal and Angel have as well. And there's something about, I don't know, there's something about dachshunds, that personalities, and they're so loving.
I'll have you know, though, Grizz is one of the most loving dogs ever in the world.
That's true.
So don't you be talking smack about my Grizz.
I wasn't.
Only 5 pounds. That's crazy. Anyway, we're excited about meeting that puppy. Vicky was like, didn't we already have a clickbaity title about leaving Las Vegas this year? I'm like, I don't know. I don't remember. I was trying to come up with a good title, guys, because the only way we can
Tommy asks.
We gotta trick you. We are leaving Las Vegas. Well, how long are we leaving for? Are we leaving forever?
No.
How long are we leaving for?
4 days.
I mean, that's a long time. We're leaving tomorrow morning. I think our flight's at 8:30, something like that. So, which actually is not bad. In the past, our flights out.
Usually I book flights at 6.
Yeah, but that's if we're going across the country. We're just going to Colorado, so it's only so we don't have to get up quite so early. I'd rather get up at 6 in the morning than 4 in the morning, because that's rough. So we talked about this, I think, on one of our videos, maybe a little bit last week. But yeah, we get up tomorrow morning. We're heading to Denver. We've got we rented an Airbnb. There's 10 of us that are going. It's gonna be us.
10, 11?
I don't know. It's gonna be us, and of course Liz, who lives in Colorado, and then a lot of people that we actually just saw a few weeks ago at the Remix, but we're very excited we get to see them again, like Angie, and then Angela and Lisa, Angelisa as we call them, Yuri, Danica,
Ryan and Allie,
who we haven't seen since they visited in August, but we're very excited about it, and we're going to be sourcing. And let me tell you guys, we've talked about traveling to source, and people say they don't have very good stuff where they live, and we've been talking about the mecca that is Colorado for thrifting, and You can do it really cheaply. Like how much, we're getting a house together. How much was it per person? Because you're the one that dealt with that.
I think it was about $150 per person.
For 4 days, like for Monday.
Nights.
Yeah, 3 nights. But 3 nights.
And then we use our points to fly Southwest for free. So the flights were free. And then we rented a car because we are a bunch of us going to be buying a bunch of crap, right? So we have 3 or 4 cars between all 10 of us. But I rented a minivan, which don't even get me started how much I hate minivans. However, they pack a lot of crap. I rented a minivan for $86 total for 4 days.
That's with fees and everything, right?
Yeah, fees, taxes, everything. $86.
So $150 per person for 3 nights, 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not bad at all. And like she said, points. You just if you get like we have a Southwest card and use that for things like shipping and anything that you normally would have to buy, you just buy it on that and then pay it off each month.
Yep.
I mean, you can do it really affordably. So. Sorry, Alexis. We apologize that you weren't invited. Jeez. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know. If,
I don't either. I'm hoping that it's not a scam.
I wonder if they had
found it through Priceline.
Were all the cars that cheap, or was it specifically the minivan that was that cheap?
It was the minivan when I
Maybe it's because there's other people like you who are prejudiced against minivans. When there's nothing wrong with a minivan, okay, you can load a bunch of stuff in a minivan. All right.
Listen. Do you understand how many people we'd have to invite if we wanted to invite everyone? This is not inner clique. We're not cliquey people. Cut the crap, Tommy. You know we're not cliquey people.
Yeah, Tommy. Anyway, everybody...
And Alexis, you've actually stayed at our house, so I don't know. How cliquey is that?
We see what's happening here, Alexis says. Anyway, we're super excited. I've got like a big private buy set up specifically for Ryan. We're going to be hitting the bins a couple times. We get to go on an ARC tour. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be fun. Hopefully eat some delicious food. The weather in Colorado is crazy as usual. It was just snowing this last week, and now tomorrow's going to be like 75 degrees. So it's always all over the place. But yeah, Michelle says minivans are always cheaper than SUVs.
I've never rented a minivan, and now I might need to look into it when I travel, just because usually when I'm traveling, it's for sourcing, so it actually makes sense to carry all the crap in it. But yeah, I mean, this way we have multiple cars in case people want to do different things, different days. That's what's nice about traveling with a group of people. You're not all tied to doing the same exact thing every day,
Yeah. So we're having to put our stores on vacation again. I will say, it's definitely not helpful to our sales, especially mine. I know you've been bitching about your sales. Mine are way worse than yours. Because
Mine have just been bad on eBay.
We only had like a week, to kind of try to get back into any kind of semblance of a groove after the remix, and then now we're leaving again. And I need, I didn't do any sourcing this week because I had stuff to list, but now I'm out, and so now we're going to go do some sourcing. But all that stuff kind of like throws some wrenches in the gears, and so
especially in Q4.
I know. Well, plus like we're doing all this traveling and doing stuff during Q4, and so I don't know.
It's life.
It's going to be nice. I think it'll be interesting next year because we are moving the remix. So next Q4 we're not going to have all the stuff going on so much. So
of course, that means that I'm going to want to travel to Rhode Island in October for fall.
I see.
Probably.
All right, I'll stay home and take care of the dogs.
That's not going to happen.
I just do, Jen. We both just do extended shipping. I mean,
here's the reason why, and everybody has had different results with this, to be fair. But I will say, when I do the vacation mode and allow sales, my sales are far fewer, and it takes a long time for SEO to recover for those items. It takes a lot. So my sales are way worse when I do that. I do extended handling time. I just put it to 5 days because we're shipping on Friday, and then I'll move it back when we get home, but I'll allow sales the whole time. So I've always found that I have better sales then. And I do the same thing with my Etsy stores. As far as Macari and Poshmark, I'm not changing anything on those because technically they give you like 7 days to ship. I mean, you'll start getting a threatening warning on both of them around 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
But we really are shipping on Friday. So at most, and we're shipping everything tonight that is sold so far. So at most, it's going to be 4 days before stuff is shipped on those other platforms.
Yeah, I mean, when they first finally rolled out that whole time away thing, it made it a lot easier to like go on vacation, and you could still have your listings be visible and available for sale. I tried it. I think I tried it twice, and it was like I went to nothing.
Dead as a doornail.
Like practically nothing. Sales definitely usually slow down for me while I'm have extended handling, but not a whole lot.
It's also because you're not listing while we're on vacation.
I tried to do some ending listings and putting new stuff up, but Tommy's like attacking us now.
I know.
When was the last time you were consistent in your business? How dare you?
All right, listen.
We had a real good run. If you remember, after all the traveling we did during the summer, we had a real good run
of like
July,
60 days.
Yeah, where we were like super able to be super consistent.
I know.
And with a little, we're big mad on the chat now.
So seriously, as far as consistency, we all know consistency is key across all the platforms. I know you're only teasing us, Tommy, but it's true. And it's funny because I actually have joined a Patreon group for the first time in my life. I've never paid for anything like that as far as learning and coaching. And so I joined a Patreon group this week, and I've been talking about doing it when looking at it with Katy. And I know that I need to make some changes in my business. I love what I do, and I love what I sell, and I love the freedom and flexibility that selling online gives me. But I will say the last 3+ years have been a solid struggle to make anywhere close to the same income that I used to make prior to that, doing half of the work. So I'm working much harder for lower returns lately. And I know that is partly due to my inconsistency, but it's also partly due to me having bad habits. So I'm looking at trying to do better. I
don't even think it's just bad habits. Like we were talking about this earlier before the show. It's also that the market is totally different now. And so what used to work before, it doesn't work anymore, or it's changed. And because we've been doing this for a long time and successfully doing it, it makes it even harder to kind of change your mindset and be like, okay, maybe I need to be doing this in a different way.
Right.
And
I'm still not interested in niching down to one thing. I know that works for some people, and there's no shame in that. You do what works for you, right? There's no one way to do this business. We say that all the time. However, if I were not sourcing and selling things that I were excited about, I would not want to do this. So I'm definitely going to continue selling and sourcing the types of items that I sell, but I think I may be looking at listing more consistently, frequently, and accepting a lot lower prices, because the reality is if I'm paying an average of $2 to $3 per item, it doesn't matter whether I'm selling an Abercrombie item for $25 or $30, or I'm selling a vintage item from the 50s for $30. I tend to hold out more for pricing because I feel that my items are worth more, and they are, but it takes a lot longer to find the right buyer. So that's the difference. There's no reason for me to scale up. I have no reason to scale up. I already have 5,000 listings, and I'll be hiring a new assistant when we come back. That's really all I need to do. Yeah. I need to make sure I have my assistant in place, and that's more consistent for me.
Or at least not scaling up in quite that way, because I know for me, I just hit 2,600 listings the other day on eBay, and for a long time I was like right around 2,200, 2,300 at the most. So right now I have more items in my store than I've ever had, and I'm on 6 different platforms, and I have better stuff than I've ever had before. And I always go back to like my first year as a full-time reseller in 2016 when I had like just over 1,000 listings, in my Q4, like I hit like $8,500 in that December, and I had much lesser stuff, less amount of stuff and less quality stuff. And so it's a very different game now. And so having to like rethink how you do things. And so like part of that I've done this year is really changing how I source and really lowering my sourcing costs, my cost of goods.
So Sunny asked a question. You see yourself doing reselling within the next 10 years still? Yes. I've been doing this for 26 years. It absolutely changes and will change, but I will never work for anyone else again. How I sell now may look entirely different in 10 years, but I absolutely will continue to be selling online or live selling or whatever it is, wherever the platforms are. This is my career. This is what I will be doing until I'm ready to stop doing it. And I know Katy feels the same way. We both have professional backgrounds. Katy has a master's degree. We can go back and do any type of jobby job that we want and still make the same type of money, but I don't want to ever work for anyone else again.
Yeah. Yeah, Tommy, there's, oversaturation is definitely a thing, and that could just be looking at eBay. But then you also take into consideration that now there's so many more selling platforms. Because, it's like I'm looking at, like, anytime I'm making sales on, like, Poshmark, I'm like, those are people that are shopping on that platform and not on eBay anymore. Or maybe they never were.
Right. Like 5 years ago, I wasn't cross-posting anything. So, and like Crystal says, people's buying habits are changing. The way that they buy, the way that they sell, or things are changing. So, we always are amenable to change and have been all along. If we hadn't been, we wouldn't still be successful sellers 26 years into the game. However, I'm looking to revolutionize some things about my business. So yeah. I'm looking to maybe probably do the same amount of work, but consistently sell more items. I used to talk about sell-through rate doesn't really matter. And for what I sell, it doesn't, because you can't really comp sell-through rate with when you have all vintage items, and you probably have the only one that looks exactly like that. However, I do need to do more of a consistent look through of my sell-through rate in my actual number of items.
Yeah.
I may sell close to 80 to 85% sell-through yearly, but definitely not monthly or quarterly. So my goal is, and I'm just putting this out to the universe, and a lot of the changes are probably not going to take place until after Q4 and we have time to make these changes, but I'm putting it out into the universe that I would like to maybe double my sales next year. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to double my sales on eBay next year. And that may mean eliminating some other platforms, but there's no reason for that, to be quite honest with you, as long as I have someone that helps me with listing and that can help me get consistent numbers up as well. And I do have a VA that does cross-posting. That doesn't take any time.
I'm assuming Alexis is talking about the Patreon that... Is she doing that same way, or she's talking about being consistent?
I don't know, being more consistent.
She says, I think she says it's been
and
amazing.
she's also niched down. She's niched down to only
almost
selling
100K more in sales this year versus last. But she has a very consistent way of doing things where she lists her at least 12 items a day, no matter what. And a lot of times that's by banking stuff.
And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. My goal is to list 30 items a day with 10 of them going into a bank. Yeah. So, but it's going to take me a minute to get there.
Yeah, see, she is talking about that.
Yeah. I didn't want to give the other person any money, so that's the reality there.
Yep.
Am I going to be teaching you? If it works for me, I'll share for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into our show, and then we're going to be getting packed for our trip tomorrow.
I know.
What do you think about that?
I'm excited.
I
always have fun hanging out with friends, and I always have fun sourcing.
Yeah.
The reality is that because I haven't had an employee now in 2 months, I still have the majority of my stuff still to list from my last Colorado trip. So I probably won't be going as hard.
Yeah. Well, or you're only going to be focusing on linens for the most part. Either linens and like stuff that is like really high dollar amount stuff, right? Because your linens you've been selling like crazy.
Yes.
So.
And yeah, Patty, you can put drafts in your eBay. eBay's drafts last for a certain amount of time. I won't be having anything in there that's going to be drafted for very long, but what I'm going to do is if I do 30 listings a day, Monday through Friday, I don't need to work Saturday and Sunday. I just need to schedule and launch listings on Saturday and Sunday. And that's really my goal, is to work 5 days a week versus 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, which is what I do now and have been doing for years.
I think Adam Ireland actually spoke at the Boss Reseller Remix, and he actually talked about the whole drafts thing on eBay, and that they were making I don't remember exactly what the details were, making some changes to where you have more control over how long those drafts stay available in your drafts.
Yeah.
And being able to like go in and change the times on it.
Well, I'll never have drafts that are that old.
Right. I'm just saying for people who
I think they last 90 days now, but I don't actually use the draft system. So if I'm wrong, someone please comment. I don't usually use drafts.
Right. But Patty was asking about a period of time.
Tommy Gaskins asked, how do you get all the items that you buy home? Do you ship or both? Okay, so first of all, we fly Southwest. Southwest allows you to have 2 50-pound bags plus a carry-on plus your personal item. Each. So we pack pretty much all of our stuff in one suitcase, and then we spread out some other stuff like bags inside suitcases and an empty suitcase inside another suitcase. We'll check all of that stuff. So we'll ship home a minimum, and those are, so we'll take home about 200 pounds ourselves, and then we do ship the rest. So we bring a scale and a label maker, and tape gun, packing tape. And I also use Space Saver bags, and then I have a Space Saver machine that just plugs in and sucks all the air out. It's like this big. So all of that stuff weighs about 4 or 5 pounds in the suitcase on the way there. And then we package things up and we ship home UPS because we are 1 state away from Colorado. Well, 2 states away technically. And it's the same zone. So shipping home is fairly inexpensive. If you get the medium-sized shipping boxes from Walmart, because there's always a Walmart wherever you are.
The heavy ones.
Heavy-duty, medium-sized shipping boxes that are like 22 by 22 or 24 by 22, something like that. Those cost $22 to $23 to ship ground from Colorado to here, UPS ground, and it doesn't matter how much it weighs. So, yes. So to answer your question, we ship some home and we take home as much as possible.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and look at our numbers for this week. Yeah, I mean, I've been listing not every single day, but most days, and I don't feel like I've been consistent enough. Or I really had a good run going through July, and I could see my numbers consistently climbing, and now they kind of like through October, just kind of nosedived again. And so, let me show you. So I had a pretty weak.
You had a weak
week this last week. Only 12 eBay orders. I mean, I don't know. Everybody was weak. I mean, you can see I only had 21 total outgoing orders.
That's terrible.
It is really ridiculous. But, and Etsy for some reason is super quiet, which Etsy I usually do okay on. But eBay, both Vicky and I have really seen eBay just be like so quiet. It's weird. I had a good sale.
It's very quiet and inconsistent. Yeah. And it's honestly...
Like you'll have like a really good day.
I don't have the love for eBay anymore than I used to have. You know, with almost 5,000 listings, all promoted at minimum of 8%, and running sales anywhere from 20 to 30% off, and listing consistently almost every day, if not every day, and sending offers to watchers every day. It is kind of ridiculous that I will go days and have 2 sales. Yeah.
It is. Well, and it's like you'll have a really good day on eBay. Like I had one day that was really, really good, and then it's like all the other days surrounding it are terrible. And it's just kind of frustrating. But again, like we said, we were talking about like, you know, making some changes probably after fourth quarter.
Yeah, and Stacy asked, do you ever get burnt out? 100%. I am in that burnout mode right now. But I'm not going to lie. Like right now is where I'm feeling burnt out. It is an absolute struggle for me to take photos and list items every day. First of all, I hate photographing clothing. I hate listing clothing myself. There's a reason why I've had someone else do it for me for 5 years. Not having someone to do that for me is sucking the joy out of this business for me right now. And it's really, really frustrating. So that's part of why I'm looking to make changes, because I need to get that back. And for me to get back that interest level, I need to enjoy what I'm doing again. And that comes from actually being successful and selling and having good sales days and making money. Making money is the goal for everyone, or we wouldn't be doing this.
I was going to say, for me, I love my job. I love what I do, and I don't really get burnt out from it. However, when sales are not where you need them to be, that for me is where it can become more trying. But I see Sharon's in the chat. She says, thanks again for having the remix, and that she and Gary had a great time. And the highlight was the time that they got to spend with the 2 growth specialists from eBay. Yeah, so Sharon, actually, we were talking to them, and at some point they would send somebody probably again specifically for like one of our meetups, so we would actually be able to have.
Yeah, I'll let you know when we do our local meetup. I'm trying to get Casey. To come, because he's right in Utah, so I might be able to get him to come for one of our meetups if we can get enough people.
Yeah, for sure. Because we thought they were like the best part of eBay as well. Like it's really cool that they're having them at events so people can actually access them and look at stuff like that. Because I didn't get to really do any of that stuff.
I didn't do any of it either. I still need to. So Tracy asked, do you either of you use a certain time frame for when you do sell similar, like every month or every 6 weeks? Nowhere near that frequently. For me, I let it sit and marinate, because you need to have 60 to 120 days on your items for it to be searchable and fully enmeshed in SEO, which is search engine optimization. And that's Google, basically. Most people use Google. And that's for any of the platforms. So basically what I do, at least for eBay, Etsy, you don't have to do anything. You don't need to end listings or anything on Etsy. It doesn't work that way. But eBay, I will let sit for about 8 months.
Yeah. I think I actually have room to do. I'm going to make sure I do a bunch of that this week while we're gone, because I think my oldest listing is right at about a year. So I think I'm going to be looking at that and maybe do some price reductions and changing some stuff around. Okay. So yeah, real weak sauce for my orders. eBay gross sales, not even 1,000. Etsy, I don't know what's happening with Etsy, but come on, man. Come back, Etsy. Why don't you love me? Poshmark, 256. Grail Bacardi and Depop, 224. No private sales. So just barely eking out over $1,500 for the week. Shipping, $69.87. You can see the breakdown of fees and my cost of goods. At least those are real low. My total net, $1,180.85. And you can see my gross average sale price, $72.12. And my net is $56.23. So, yeah, I definitely need to figure out some stuff like how I'm going to make some changes. And I already have some ideas. Again, Vicki and I, we talk about this stuff all the time just between the two of us. And I definitely have some ideas of like kind of scaling up. I know for one thing, because Vicki had gotten all that stuff from the bins, or not the bins, from Colorado, it really pulled me back from how often I was going to the bins. And so that's kind of allowed me to kind of fall back into not doing as much volume. So I really need to start, like, all the stuff is there. The product is there. There's no reason for me to not be going after it. And also, we've been talking about ways that, like, both of us can be, like, making our photographing and measuring process a lot faster. And so I'm actually kind of excited about that, which would also help with the volume part of it. So I just need to get, like, my butt into gear and get on that. So we've got some goals. We got some ideas. We're not just going to stay stagnant and be
We're not just going to lay down and take it.
Yeah, man. All right, let's look at your numbers.
Okay, so this was not a terrible week. It was not great, I will say. My eBay is still really, I mean, we're in the dead deep in the middle of Q4, and my eBay is not even hitting $2,000 a week. There's a problem. So, 36 eBay orders, 17 Etsy, 6 Poshmark, 3 Macari for a total of 62. Honestly, I'm always between 50 and 70 orders outgoing a week, no matter what I'm doing. So clearly, there's something going on that I need to just continue to do more. And I'm listing double that generally. So $18.45 on eBay, $13.37 on Etsy. This is my third excellent week in a row on Etsy. I have to say, Etsy has woken up for me, and I have changed nothing. And then $202 in Poshmark, where Etsy has woken up, Poshmark went to shit. Posh has been dead for me for 60 days, basically, and it's making me rethink the whole thing, even though I did $30,000 in their year to date. So, 3 on Macari, nothing special on Macari this week, and then for a total of 62 total. 62 orders. So my total is $34.70 for my total gross sales. My shipping, as you know, I sell all kinds of things, so my shipping is always higher than Katie's. My cost of goods, of course, is always relatively low, although I did have a couple items in there this week that I paid up a little bit for because they were really heavy. So my total net is kind of right where I want it to be. So $2,519 for the week is my net. I do prefer to keep my net between $2,500 and $3,000 a week. If I could consistently have that be my number or even better, then I would not be bitching every week. And my gross average sale price, I'd like to keep between 50 and 60. Again, I am willing to lower my average sale price or my gross average sale price if I can increase my volume.
Oh, I cut off your.
So that's
your
okay. The net is going to be 40 something. So $56 gross average sale price is right in the sweet spot.
All right. Okay, so I know somebody asked, I think it was Sunny, asked about all the bins that we've been to, which ones are our favorite. I started doing my sourcing out of the Salem bins in Oregon, but I haven't been there, but I used to love it there. Because the biggest thing was that they had direct donations. It was a direct donation site. Mm-hmm. And when I moved to Vegas, they were terrible here. And then they made changes. They closed the 2 they had. They opened a new single location. And now it has direct donations. And I actually think our bins here are pretty fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really like them a lot. They had some growing pains. Where there were a lot of things that we didn't like how slow they were in moving things. But now it's like they're very consistent.
They got a new manager, and she cracked the whip.
Yep.
And
it made a world of difference. So I actually really think we're very, very lucky here. I do really like Colorado. I'll let Vicki speak to that because honestly, when we went last year, I was not in bins mode. I was like there kind of having fun just for the trip. I wasn't really focused on it as like big sourcing. I was doing more of the private buys and going to like vintage shops. So I'm excited about going this week and like actually going there as like I'm going to source. So what's your favorite?
I mean, out of all the states that I've been to that have bins, or all the states that I've been to source in general, I'm going to say Florida is probably my least favorite sourcing in general. At least the area where Casey lives, where we went. So the Tampa area, I didn't like the sourcing in Florida, period, except for the sourcing we did at Casey's storage unit.
Out of his garage.
Out of his garage. But I really like Denver, the Denver bins specifically. Colorado and the Denver bins are probably my favorite overall. Yeah, but I have only been sourcing from bins for like the last 3 years or so. I never used to go to the bins before.
Yeah.
So, and I've been in Arizona, I've been in California, I've been in Colorado, I've been in Oregon, I've been in Florida. So those are the ones that I've actually sourced at.
Yeah. And when we went to the one in Oregon, though, it's like we weren't there for very long. I know we found a couple of things that were really good, but we weren't there for very long, and we weren't really that, like, it wasn't, again, we were just kind of there to check it out. It wasn't so much like, all right, let's get sourcing. So I feel like the next time we go back home, we need to go there again and be like, all right, what's up? But anyway, all right, let's go ahead and look at our sales highlights. Let's see. Yeah.
Jay said she'd love to see if they opened up another bins up north here. Maybe. I wouldn't mind having less competition, but I do like that there's only one because that means we get all the stuff. But who knows? Who knows?
All right, but I will say, guys, I don't have, for the most part, anything too crazy that I sold this week, except for one item in particular. But I think 3 or 4 of my solds are things that Vikki brought back for me from her last trip to Colorado. So these are things I'm like, okay, I can find some stuff at the Colorado bins because look at what I already sold.
And you weren't very excited about the things that I gave you, and yet they sold.
Okay, mid sell all the time. It doesn't mean I'm going to be super excited about them. Okay, lady.
Whatever. I can get no credit, guys. None.
Okay, this is the thing. Hold on, guys. This is the thing about Vikki. She was real good at telling you, meh, when you show her something. But the second, I don't know if you remember this, but all the stuff that I got for her while she was in Colorado, she's like, meh. None of it did she think was that great. The second I was like not overly exuberant about one of the things she brought back, she was real sad about it. It really annoyed her.
I would have kept them.
It really, and let's not even get started about our chili, okay? I don't like the chili that much that she makes. She really doesn't like the chili that I make. Who is bothered by this? That one.
Nobody has never not liked my chili except you.
It's just chili. It's chili. I just happen to prefer my chili, which Vikki does not like. Do you see me crying about it?
Nope.
Michelle, my vintage hospital gowns are not going well at all. I had to save that fabric. Okay. Let's go ahead and show this. All right, what you got? What you got going on here? What's up with your Coachella? Quit looking at the chat.
I'm sorry. I was just reading the comment by Jonathan. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I do 30% off sales. I price everything high. Again, I've been doing this for 26 years, so it is something that I do understand and do know how to source. I know what to source and how to source it and what to sell. However, I'm not selling mainstream items, and neither is Katy.
Yeah.
So, comparable for sell-through rate is just not something that's easily done. And I'm not going to expect a high sell-through rate selling vintage items, but I would like to convert it to a higher than it is now for sure.
Right. Well, and that was one of the things that we were talking about earlier today when we were discussing this privately. It's like, after doing this for so many years and doing it so successfully and seeing like crazy sales the way we used to do things, it's hard to change your mindset as somebody who's been doing it a long time. But the reality is things are different. And it's like, okay, if we have like this endless source right now, particularly in the bins where everything's super crazy cheap, it's just like, how do we kind of adjust our mindset to where we don't have to sell it for as much as we know we could, but it would take a lot longer. And now the way things have changed, even more time. It's hard to change that, guys, but we're doing it. Yeah. It's like we're driving a really giant triple-decker bus, and it's real good at pulling things along, but
okay.
change. Hey,
stop with your analogies.
I'm telling my dang analogy. But you know what? It's real hard making turns and changing direction, okay? So
so 50% off is pretty much where I am usually. So I'll price something, and then I do a 30% off sale, 20 to 30% off depending on the week. I alternate, so it's not the same every week. And then I always offer at least another 30% off when I'm sending offers to watchers, because people sending 5 and 10% off is bullshit. Nobody's buying it at that. That's not creating an impetus to purchase. So I do already do that. But I mean,
Alexa
like I said,
says our bus is stubborn.
Somebody's bus is more stubborn than the others. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead. Tell us about your Coachella.
No, this is just a bins purchase. It's not even vintage. I picked this up and paid about $3 for it based on weight. It's a little over a pound. So it didn't take very long to sell, maybe a couple of months, and it sold for the price you see there. Nothing fancy about it. I do always pick up certain festival clothing. Coachella's one of them.
Well, plus this is cool because it's got like a little Etch-a-Sketch.
It's got a little Etch-a-Sketch thing on it, and so it was pretty cool. So yeah, $63. There weren't any others like it, and it's not even in perfect condition. So
I love it. It's cool. All right, first up for me, do you recognize this? This was one of the t-shirts you brought me from Colorado.
I do not recognize it.
It's just Toronto, Canada. She gave it to me because she doesn't care about the travel tees, and she knows that I sell them. And so I was like, okay, but yeah, I thought it's cool. It's cool, kind of little art tee. I sent an offer for like $40, sold it for $40. So it's, it's nothing super exciting, but, don't discount the cool travel tees, especially if they have a nice graphic on them. And Vikki paid, I don't even know how much do the bins cost in Colorado now?
I think it's $1.69. So
$1.69? Less than $1 for it?
Yeah, I probably paid 80-90 cents for it.
$40. I paid $0. Thank you very much. Next up.
This was also a bins purchase. Not all Scott McClintock has a good resale value. In fact, it's nothing like Jessica McClintock as far as resale value with vintage. However, made in the USA, this I purchased more for what it is than the brand. It's basically just a very long velvet coat. So I did sit on it for a while. It did cost me probably close to $5 based on the weight. It's heavy. It's nicely made. But it sold for the price you see there, $101. That's it.
$101?
$101.
$1. I was like, waiting for you to finish. I'm like, nope, that's all she's going to say.
That's it. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. You recognize this?
Nope. I gave you that too?
You did give me this. Anyway, she gave me this from Colorado. And this one, I actually got $42 for. So again, I paid nothing. And I got $42 for it. And yeah, it's just, I like the Alaska stuff. I like anything with a grizzly bear on it. And this was a nice big size too. I didn't have it listed for very long. And I sold it for $42. So, you mids are good. They're not, listen, back in the day when I used to pay up for stuff, it was nice that every single t-shirt that I got to take pictures of and list and sell was something I was really, really excited about. But guess what? That's a luxury I no longer have. I can't keep doing it that way. So I have to show love for the mids,
For sure. Susie asked, whose turn is it to be right today? I think it's mine.
I don't know about that.
See?
We'll see. All right, go ahead.
All right, so this was a good sale. This right here, I took an offer for $375. So this was a purchase from the bins here in Vegas. This is heavy. I'm not going to lie.
Seriously.
This probably weighs 12 pounds. It's super heavy, thick, well made, very nice. Unfortunately, so it says it doesn't have the liner, which means it doesn't have the tag, which means I couldn't really confirm who made it. It has a liner, but it doesn't have there's a snap in and out one that's like an extra liner or zip it, probably fur or something. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I probably paid at least $10 for this, maybe $15, and it sold for $375. I charged quite a bit for shipping. I don't really know why I charged that much, to be honest with you. I used a flat rate shipping. But this is going to, I think, Hawaii. So it's worth every bit of that higher shipping price because I'm going to have to box it. That's too heavy for a bag. It's too expensive for a bag. I don't want it to be torn open or anything on the way. So it's going to go in a box. And $375. And I didn't have it listed very long. Also.
I love
So this was
dusters.
listed for maybe 2 months.
Yeah. I think the dusters are really cool, especially when they're like the waxed ones that are.
Yeah, that one's
cotton.
not, but
Well,
it's
'cause
like
this
it's
one's
leather,
leather.
but it's really thick, very well made. I wish I had any tags in it that I could look up the RN or the brand or whatever. There's a specific Australian company that makes them that are very similar, and it could have been that, but I don't know for 100%.
Yeah.
So it's very nice though.
Yep. You remember this one?
I do.
This is another one that Vicky gave me, and it sold for the price you see there, $69.99. This is a cool. It's a cool bar that's in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I think it's still there, but it's been there for a very long time. The $1 Million Cowboy Bar. And, I mean, I like when I find anything from Jackson Hole. I don't know why. I mean, this is just me making up stuff in my own head, I think. But Jackson Hole is just kind of one of those cool destinations, and it's a beautiful place. And so I always feel like there's some appeal to it as far as being able to sell things. And I feel like I'm correct in that. And I always sell. I think I only had this listed for, I mean, since... I listed it a while after you came back. Because I had to like bleach everything like crazy. So it took a while before I actually listed it. So it was listed for maybe a few weeks. So 70 smackaroonies, and I paid $0. And as far as who's going to be right today, Vicky always beats me in sales, so automatically she's coming out ahead, way ahead of me. All right, what? You got some Ed Hardy.
Yeah, this one's not super exciting. This was a bins buy. I probably paid 50 cents for it. It's really light. But what I wanted to talk about, and we've talked about it a few times now, is to definitely be picking up the Affliction and the Ed Hardy stuff again. Even though it is really mid-Y2K. I don't know why it says vintage from before 2000, but it's not. So it's mid-Y2K. Ed Hardy and Affliction. Come on, I thought this stuff was the tackiest, ugliest shit 15 years ago. It still is, but the kids love it.
Yep.
It's back. So I paid I sold it for $37, but it actually shipped internationally. So I actually made another $10 in shipping. So $47 for something I probably paid 50 cents for. Again, keep an eye out. Ed Hardy and Affliction is back.
I don't know if you remember that it wasn't that long ago I found that Fox Racing t-shirt, and it wasn't even that interesting of a shirt, and it was super faded and super worn and stained, and I didn't get the stains all out. And it wasn't a very interesting shirt, and I sold it on Mercari for $30. So all that stuff, all that Y2K crap is like coming back with a vengeance. All right, next up for me, just a cool little horse
TGI
racing
Fridays?
t-shirt. What's that?
TGI Fridays?
Well, it's a Derby, Kentucky Derby shirt, Super Derby. Anyway, it was just sponsored by...
I know, it's just an odd sponsorship.
Yeah, 1980. This was funny because I had two of these, and they were blue, but this one was stained, and so I bleached it, and it like went completely white, and it just looks like it always was a white t-shirt. So, but I sold for the price you see there. It's super tiny, so it did take a while for it to sell. You can see it's only 15 3/4 inches across the chest. But it sold for $69.99. I think I paid like $5 for it, if that. But I did have it for quite a while. But I think it's a really cool graphic. So, and it's not a rainbow, but it does have that kind of stripe going across the chest. I think that's pretty popular. Yes.
Ooh, yes, Mark Nason lounge shoes. Oh, I know which ones you mean. They have the crosses on them and stuff.
Ed Hardy for the feet.
Yeah, those are pretty bad. Those are back too, huh? Damn it. I got to pay attention to them now.
Damn it.
There's another one too, like Robert something or other, another brand. I know you know what I'm talking about, Alexis. Robert something. West, maybe? Robert something. Similar. Anyway, moving on. I have to keep an eye on those. So,
what you got?
This is one that I was just talking about not that long ago. So this sold for $60, but this also went to Canada. So this actually had also shipping on top of that. This is Faded Glory, guys. This is not Robert Graham. This is a Faded Glory. This is a Walmart brand from the 90s. Do not discount Faded Glory when it is vintage. Faded Glory currently is crap. However, the stuff and the styles that they had from the 90s are very, very nostalgic. So definitely pick them up when you can. This it sold for $60, again, plus shipping to Canada. I probably made another $10 on the shipping. But yeah, it's so 90s. Everything about it is so 90s.
Very nice.
Like that dirty looking denim.
Yep. So this Alaska Railroad bomber jacket. So what was that, like maybe a month ago or so? It might have been when the Roots were here. I bought 4 different railroad jackets that were clearly all donated by the same person. There were 2 of them that looked like this. There was a bomber one, and then there was a vest, I think. And I have now sold all of them but one. All 3 of the 4 have sold. So I think anything railroad, this was like somebody wanted to buy it for his grandson because his grandson's really into trains. So I thought that was really cute. But I sold it for the price.
But he didn't lowball you, so it wasn't like a sob story.
No. He bought it for $69. The only reason I know that is because it was going to a PO box, and I wasn't paying attention when I did my shipping, and I had it switched on whatever was the cheapest, and it ended up going UPS SurePost. And so he emailed me because he messaged me because he saw that he saw the UPS thing, and he was worried about because they don't deliver to post offices. And I said, don't worry, it gets delivered by the post office. It's just a SurePost label. Anyway, $69.99. I paid $3 for it.
Robert Wayne. That's exactly it, Alexis. Thank you. I knew that you would know what I was talking about.
Robert Wayne. She's cleaning shoes. Mm-hmm. All right, next up for you.
I picked this up in Colorado just a couple months ago when I was there. It wasn't even a couple months ago, not even 2 months ago, 6 weeks, 7 weeks ago. And I think I may have shown it in a haul video. But anyway, you pay 49 cents a pound for linens at a specific thrift store at a specific bins in Denver. And this is where that came from. So I probably paid, it's probably 3 or 4 pounds. So maybe I paid $2 for it total. And this also went international. So it sold for $75. Nice. It was listed for not even a month. Sold for $75 plus shipping. So
again, for anyone who has in their death pile a giant pile of linens because you want to have the right setup for taking your pictures.
Look at that! It's cheesy. You can see the shadow of my phone.
Look at Vicki's terrible pictures. You can't even really.
Good enough is good enough. Good enough is good enough. I don't know, denim shower curtains. I thought the same thing when I saw it, Tommy. I was like, whatever. But I knew that the comforters sold really well. And when I first pulled this, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was a duvet cover.
Yeah.
Because it's denim and it was thin, and then I was like, oh no, those are shower curtain grommets. Yep. I don't really know.
But the thing is, when it comes to linens, it's literally a big freaking rectangle of fabric. You don't have to be able to see the whole thing. Mm-mm. As long as you're disclosing flaws and they can see what the pattern or colors are, you're good to go.
Exactly.
Okay, this is my big sale of the week. This is actually from the thrift battle that we had with Rally Roots. When they were here in town, and then Vicki copied me and decided that she was going to pick an LL Bean cardigan, even though she had way cooler stuff in
which already sold, by the way.
I'm aware. I'm just saying I was sabotaged because she had cooler stuff. Nobody wants to look at a bunch of cardigans, all right?
Whatever.
So my cool cardigan became just another cardigan thanks to Vicki and her sabotaging ways. Anyway.
But she's not bitter, guys. Even though Allie beat us both.
Well, Allie beat us both in a popularity contest. That is correct. She hasn't even listed hers yet, but so she claims that she is going to list it soon. But Ryan sold his already, and we both sold ours. I think they started out with 100, and I'm like, I know with the season coming that this is going to be able to sell for a lot more than that. And it said that if you accept the offer now, they'll pay right away. But then it was also promoted, so it's going to be 7%. So I took a chance and went back and forth a few times, and I finally got them up to 150. So I sold it for $150, and I'm very, very happy with that. So 150 smackaroonies. All right, go ahead.
So this was part of the entire business buyout that I did from a friend here in earlier this year. I probably had this listed since the end of April. I paid, excuse me. Sorry about it.
Bless you.
Anyway, I paid $3 for each item overall.
Uh-huh.
So this sold for what you see there, $97.46. Again, I was running a sale on Etsy. You can tell that it's not originally mine because when I purchased her entire store out, she had me log into her store and I transferred everything to List Perfectly. That was part of the buyout. And it makes, if you are buying the entire inventory from another seller and you do not have an account with List Perfectly, it's worth getting an account just for that. Just for the however long it's going to take you to import their items. You log into their account. They have to give you full access. You log into their eBay account, transfer everything into your items, and then you can do what you want with that. But this was actually pretty inexpensive. So.
Yeah. Angel says, "Hachoo! Bless you." Sometimes she gets pretty crazy with us. She had a sneeze earlier today. I was in another part of the house, luckily, because it probably would have killed me. It was real loud. Loud.
Shut up.
All right, next up, Jesus tea. So what I think is cool about this one, I was actually at yesterday's Fits, maybe like a month or so ago. I was there to pick up stuff for the charity auction at the Remix, and he was doing a buy, and the guy had like a bunch of stuff, and he picked some stuff to buy. He passed over this T-shirt, and I went over and I said, "Get that T-shirt for me." And so then he said to the guy, "It'll be $5," because I think he was already giving him like, I don't know, $5-10 for each thing. So he gave the guy $5, basically just charged me $5 and gave it to me, and it was listed for maybe a month, and I sold it for $62.99, and it went to Canada, so they paid shipping. I think it was like another $15. So I think I made like maybe $4 or $5 more on the shipping, which actually more like 10, because I would have had to pay for the shipping if I had sold it here domestically. So yeah, probably an extra $10. But seriously, come on. Don't pass up the Jesus stuff. Or if you're Vicky, give me all your Jesus stuff.
Seriously, because it doesn't sell for me.
You can't sell your Jesus stuff.
I can't give it away.
Yeah. But they love Jesus in Canada too, guys. So, all right, next up.
Okay, so this also came from that purchase from my friend. So I paid $3 for this as well. I have sold, I would say, out of the, what did I get from her?
600 pieces?
750 pieces. 750 pieces. Of those 750 pieces, I've sold at least 70% already. Partly because I don't have a lot of money into them, and I didn't pay extra to have anybody list them. So I've been entertaining much lower offers on a lot of these things, or sending lower offers to just clear them out faster. Also because a lot of this stuff is stuff I may not have purchased myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, $3 into $112. This is actually a beautiful dress. It's so pretty. I wish it actually would fit me, and I had somewhere to wear it. It's probably like a size too small. But really cute. Mm-hmm. And it was dead stock. So it had the tags on it and everything. So, yeah, $3 into it. So, I mean, Laura Ashley always sells well. And again, you'll see partly when you see these items that I'm selling that used to belong to someone else, I did not even change title structure. I didn't change anything. I took it as is. I took the photos, which her photos are great, even though they don't have a background remover. I still think the background is really pretty. And the photos are done well. I did not change title, even though the title is not something I would have changed. I would have put it in that order necessarily. Yeah. It didn't matter. The whole point was I got everything cheaply. I was going to get it uplisted cheaply.
Yeah. All right. Next up, I had a couple of decent Poshmark sales. I will say, like, I would like to see more Poshmark sales, because it is becoming definitely one of the easiest platforms to sell on for me, and I've actually been pretty happy with the prices I've been able to get on there. And honestly, for the most part, I don't do a whole lot of countering when somebody does me like the lowball offers. I just kind of decline. I don't even bother.
You shouldn't decline on Poshmark, and I'll tell you why. Because it does mess up with your algorithm. You should always counter or leave it. If you don't want to counter, if they've been bugging you consistently, just ignore it till it expires, but do not decline.
Okay, I made a mistake. You're right. There you go. And to flip it, Vicky's right. San Francisco 49ers. I really like the style of these t-shirt jerseys.
I like them too. I like to wear them.
Yeah, and so I sold it for $50. And this one's from the 90s. I can't change it. I don't know why sometimes you can change the pictures, but sometimes you can't. But anyway, yeah, I've been selling a lot of football stuff, so definitely if you've got stuff sitting around, NFL stuff that you haven't listed yet, come on, hurry it up. Especially if you have Kansas City Chiefs, because I think maybe I have one thing left. I've sold like every single Kansas City Chiefs thing.
See, Angel knows I've got his back. He knows that if he and I end up in a dark alley and someone pulls a gun on him, I'm going to kick him in the shins and kill him. Where, Katie might just be like completely risk averse and leave the situation and call 911.
I would not just leave the situation.
Now, see, he knows.
But Vicky is always
what side his bread is buttered on.
Incorrect. Vicky is not always right. Vicky always 100% thinks she's right. And she cannot be convinced otherwise.
I am always right.
And when you prove her wrong, she doesn't really give you any kind of satisfaction either. She's a real asshole about that.
Yep. It's true.
And she'll get into an angry fight to prove that she's right, even though she's not.
Rude.
All right.
So rude.
All right. Next up for you.
This one did take a while to sell, I'm going to say. I picked this up at the ARC thrift store on my trip to Colorado in January of this year. So it's been listed since January, or probably February or so. And but it sold for $172.46 on Etsy. It probably cost me $3 to $4 when I originally purchased it. I love it. And I just think it's so pretty and so well made, and there's not a ton of them, and they do tend to sell for this price, but you've got to wait to find the right buyer for these, for sure.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, on the right person, I'm sure it's super hot. It's a really pretty piece. There's just not a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
So it took a long time to sell. But again, just to say, if you find something that looks like this, purchase it. Definitely very I Dream of Jeannie.
All right, my last thing, this Wrangler Western shirt, not a super exciting one, but I still got 50. Oh, see, now the picture's changing. What's up with that, man? This Wrangler plaid shirt, got $56 for it on Poshmark. So, yeah.
That's a good price for a Wrangler shirt.
Yeah, so I'm never going to pass up anything Western related if I can get it for a good price. Because, man, I don't know. Maybe I'm on a roll right now between horses and rodeo. Hook me up. I'm doing well. Mm-hmm. All right. Next up for you.
Emerald City Cellar. No, that wasn't a costume. That's vintage lingerie.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one, actually, I've had for quite a while. I purchased this here at our bins. So I paid whatever, $1.69 a pound for this. It is a little heavy. It's about 6 or 7 pounds. So again, I probably have $10 into it. However, this one was completely torn down one seam. Like the seam had separated all the way down one side, and it needed to be repaired. So Crystal actually repaired it for me. I think I paid $10 for the repair. And she was able to sew the seam for me. And there's actually a couple of other little repairs on there as well. It needed some work. I might have even paid 15 or 20 for her to fix it. I'm not sure. However, whatever it was that I paid was worth it. So I paid about $10 plus the repairs. Let's even say 15. So $25 all in on this. This was listed for like a week and a half. So it sold for $187.46. And plus $20 shipping. Mm-hmm. So it sold fairly quickly, and I got a good price for it because, to be honest with you, these do not sell for as much as I expected them to. 2 years ago, even 3 years ago, the Polo Ralph Lauren Bear stuff would have this probably would have sold for $500 2 or 3 years ago, but it did sell quickly enough. And thank God I have somebody like Crystal that I could ask to do some repairs and things for me, because I can't sew shit.
It's true.
But I knew that this was worth picking up and repairing.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, so that is it for our sales highlights. So let's get into our next part. Now, this is going to be a little bit different just because we are going to be gone this next week, so we can't do our typical goals. So I know for me, I'm not going to bother setting a listing goal.
Because we're not going to get any listing done?
Yeah, probably not. For sure not. Other than I am going to every day end at least 10 old listings and do sell similar for my eBay at least. And then the rest, I'm pretty much just going to let it go.
I don't even do that.
Yeah, well, I am going to do that. And as far as videos, we're not going to have any pre-recorded videos this week. I didn't do any of that. But we will, you're going to want to make sure that you're following, like Rally Roots, like their stories on Instagram. There'll probably be some stuff there. Definitely, Liz, Colorado Reworn, she will probably do, she's pretty good with the Instagram stuff. Danica, for sure. And I will definitely try to do some stories and stuff, videos, reels, whatever, on my Instagram. We don't have a shared Instagram, but on my Instagram, Katie Zilverberg. And then Vikki will probably share it in her stories and stuff like that. So we'll try to get some content out there. And
whatever I'm tagged in, I'm going to share. Am I going to create content myself?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I'll tag you because I know you're not going to create it. You'll probably put pictures up and stuff like that. You just don't do reels.
I just like to be present in the moment, so I don't do a lot of things like that. But I will say Ryan is very good at doing stories, and he's just constantly doing little stories all day long, and they just don't last. They're only there for 24 hours, but he does really good ones. So
I mean, you tend to take a lot of pictures. I'm definitely the one that that has the hardest time of like, because I just want to like enjoy the experience. But
I don't even take pictures anymore. That's the thing. I've stopped. I used to take a lot of pictures, and I've stopped, and I need to get back at it, taking more pictures. Let's face it, we're all getting older, right? And as far as I'm concerned, I've lost a lot of very good friends and close people in my life in the last 18 months. And every time I'm constantly looking for pictures and things for memories. So take the pictures, guys. Just take the pictures.
But no, I'll definitely be taking some footage for some pre-recorded videos for the following week or two. But we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, so I think as far as goals for this next week, I think, let's see. As far as thrifting goes, I really want to try and get a good amount of stuff to send back home or bring back home. We're going to be going to the bins at least. I want to go at least a couple of the days, if not all 3. But we got some different.
We're there for 4 days.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, so we're going to try. I want to do the bins. I know everybody's going to be into it. We're all getting together. We're going to be having fun. But we're resellers, so to us, fun is sourcing, right? So I really want to like focus at the bins on getting as much like stuff for really good prices. I know for you probably want to try and get as much linens as you can.
I do. I mean, linens, because they're so cheap, even when I have to pay to ship them home, because obviously I would never fit that like comforter in a suitcase, maybe one, but I do pay to ship them home. But because it's 49 cents a pound, even if I'm paying an extra couple of bucks per item to ship home, it's still worth it for me because linens sell very quickly for me.
Very quickly.
And I'm getting good prices on them. So
very quickly. Angel, Corey has been authorized to use deadly force if necessary. You got your own stinking wiener dog. You can leave ours alone.
That's it. You don't get to come and steal Ripley anymore.
No.
She has been thrown over.
Yeah, hurry up and get that baby all of his shots so that you can bring him over for a visit so they can have play dates and run around the backyard together.
Oh, Michelle bought her airfare for the cruise today.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have fun.
Oh, we're going to have tons of fun. And we were just talking to Allison. She's going, and she's actually going to come to Vegas, so we get to road trip to the port. So we're pretty excited about that. Very excited about it. But anyway, guys,
all this talk about spending more time and learning how to dial down on our businesses as we have 3 or 4 upcoming trips in the next 6 months. But hey, it's all good. It's all good.
Whatever. We'll take your wiener dogs. Bring them on over. But guys, please, in the chat and in the comments below after the fact of this video, please let us know, what did you accomplish this last week? What are your goals for next week? And, like we said, we're both going to be definitely taking a hard look at how we do our businesses. And we're going to be making some changes that probably aren't going to be able to like fully go into effect until next year, as in first quarter.
Yeah. Well, I do have somebody interviewing when we come back, so I'm hoping to get, assuming that, you know, when she comes, she's on vacation right now. She comes back the day that I come back. So I'm hoping to interview her next weekend and get her started right away.
Yeah, we'll be making some changes,
I absolutely need to have somebody helping me getting listings done in order to keep up the volume that I've been doing. So if I can get my goal met of, like I said, 30 items a day, listed, 20 live, 10 drafts, and then they'll be cross-posted by my VA, and schedule from the draft bank for the weekends. That is kind of what my goal is going to be. So 20 live a day. And then that will allow me to free up a little bit more time to do some of the live selling that I would like to get into on the district. So I'll be looking into doing a live sale at least once a month. It's 2 hours once a month. Maybe I'll do it twice a month if I can get enough stuff. And because it's a curated vintage market and it's a vintage market of buyers and sellers, I have a lot better chance of doing well there than I would and did on Whatnot, which is a crapshoot of trying to bring your own people there. So
yeah. Also, one of the things I'm going to be doing sometime we'll say in the next few weeks is I've always had thoughts of having a setup that does a flat lay in a way that is like not killing my back, because I am definitely a perfectionist when it comes to my photography. But I do actually really like a good flat lay, and it's
also
definitely
to your
easier.
detriment too, being a perfectionist.
I know, but I'm generally very fast, and I will say over the years there have been lots of adjustments I've made to how I do my photography and how I do all that process. I've definitely cut lots of time out of it, and I'm pretty fast now. But I think a good flat lay, but I need to have like an elevated, basically at the right height, so I'm not bending over, and something that's somewhat elevated. Almost could think of it like a drafting table. So it's literally just you lay it on there and you take the picture. And so I've got a pretty good idea now of how to accomplish that. I just need to put in the time and put it together. And so I think that's going to be like the next big thing I'm going to change. And I think that's gonna help a lot as far as like the quickness.
Yeah, I personally will not be doing flat lays just because what I sell does not lend itself to look good on a flat lay. Dresses and skirts and things. Obviously, I have flat lay pants, maybe an occasional t-shirt, but blouses, dresses, especially vintage items, it really is all about presentation. And if you're doing something on a flat lay for those types of items, they just don't look as good. They don't present as well. It needs to be on a body. It needs to be on a mannequin.
Yeah.
So I, hopefully, like I said, getting my new lister helping, I'm going to have her do all of that stuff, and I'll continue to do, the linens, the hard goods, shoes, whatever. So that's my plan.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, so I think that's everything. We should be back next Sunday since we're doing this trip middle of the week. It won't interfere with our Sunday show. But yeah, Tommy's goal is for 2024 is to buy a dang mannequin.
I have 3 mannequins, and wouldn't you know, I have to get another one because I don't have one that's solid white, and I haven't had one for a while. I'm sure I gave it away at some point. I have the half mannequins. I have the the hollow back plastic things. Those are great for tops and some dresses and most things for menswear and jackets and things like that. But yeah, my full mannequins, I hate them. So I actually have our friend Archie, Biscuit Butt, has one that he's going to give me, which is very nice.
Very nice.
He didn't pay I'm like, I'll pay you for it. He's like, no, I got it for free myself and I don't use it. So
that works. That's a good boy.
So he's going to give one to me next weekend when we get back.
All right. Very, very cool. Okay, guys, we will see you later. Have an awesome week. Think about ways that maybe you could change up your business to help it go a little bit better, to be a little more successful, or make, at the very least, make things a little bit easier for you. Maybe like think about some of your processes and ways that you can shorten up different parts of them. I don't know.
That's the plan.
All right. See you.
Bye.